Alright, welcome everybody to another DBD video. I'm gonna be reading the lore of the Doctor, and I really like this killer from time to time when I want to play with him. And I'm also going to read the lore and also make a perk build for him. So I hope you guys enjoy, and I'm gonna go back to his original cosmetics. Showing exceptional aptitude in psychology, Herman was handpicked for special training in an advanced neuroscience program located in a secret black site facility in Illinois. Known as the Larry's Memorial Institute, really a front for the CIA. This is where Herman met Dr. Otto Stamper, where under his guidance, Herman began to use strange and ever increasingly vicious methods to extract information from prisoners sent to the Institute, which was also a covert prison and re-education center for whoever was the USA's current nemesis. His liberal use of violent electroshock therapy revealed dramatic results, and several threats to national security were uncovered. Over the years, Herman became known as the Doctor, and no one ever questioned if he had even held a medical certificate, or even what happened to the prisoners after they had given up their information. It was only after the Larry Memorial Institute went silent for a week that the true horror was finally discovered. The personnel, patients, and prisoners were all found dead with all types of head trauma. All personnel and prisoners' bodies were accounted for, including Dr. Otto Stamper. But no sign of Herman, the Doctor, Carter. Well, that was a very short story. I did not expect it to be that short. So basically, this was a person named Herman, and he was a doctor, as he's labeled in his name, and he was put into Larry's Memorial Institute in order to extract information from the USA's government's enemies and nemesis, stuff like that, and also it could be a covert prison and also a re-education center for them. Basically, that's Herman's job was just to interrogate their USA's enemies and whatnot. But it looked like he got overzealous with it and got what's the word? Drunk with power. And used all his test subject as something completely different. So yeah, that's Herman Carter. So hope you guys enjoyed the lore, and this one's very short. Alright, let's go to the perk build now. Okay, so what perks I usually like running with the Doctor is this particular build I have right now. It's very good for Devour Hope. Basically what it does is that a hex rooting its power on hope. The false hope of survivors ignites your hunger. When a survivor is rescued from a hook at least 24 meters away, Devour Hope receives a token. 2 tokens gain a 5% haste status effect 10 seconds after hooking a survivor for the duration of 10 seconds. So it gives you 5% haste after hooking a survivor. That's basically what it means. For 10 seconds. And then 3 tokens survivors suffer from the exposed status effect. Basically, you can one-shot a healthy survivor. Or you could just one-shot a survivor whether they're healthy or injured. And then 5 tokens grants the ability to kill survivors by your own hand. Also, actually, let's go back to 3 tokens. So even if they suffer from the exposed status effect, there's some perks and also add-ons that you can run in order for your survivor not to be one-shot. And there's like survivor has, if they're already injured, they can use bottled time, which is a styptic agent. Basically, they gain their endurance effect for 8 seconds, meaning that they can take another hit in those 8 seconds and not go down. But they have a deep wound effect, and they have to mend themselves before they start bleeding out. So yeah, pretty good. Before they start bleeding out when not in chase. Yeah, if they're in chase, then the timer doesn't go down. And then we have the 5 tokens, which grants the ability to kill survivors with your own hand. So basically you could mori a survivor whether they're first hook, second hook, or third hook. Which you have to hook survivors, so some of them are probably going to be like dead on hook, but some others probably won't. You could probably like hook 2 survivors twice in a row, and then hook the 3rd survivor like once. And then if you get those tokens from every single one that you're 24 meters away, then the person who wasn't hooked at all can go down and get killed without getting hooked or anything like that. So it becomes really beneficial for that sort of problem. So yeah, I do like running Devour Hope on Doctor. Next we have Save the Best for Last. What it does is that you become obsessed with 1 survivor, earn a token for each successful basic attack that is not dealt to the obsession. Each token grants a stackable 5% decreased successful basic attack cooldown. You can earn up to 8 tokens. Hitting your obsession with a basic attack will cause you to lose 3 tokens. You can no longer gain tokens if your obsession is sacrificed or killed. The killer can only be obsessed with 1 survivor at a time. So basically what this does is that every time you use your basic attack, which is your M1, or basically what you smack, since Doctor has a second ability, but the second ability doesn't attack the survivor, so it's different in a way. It's usually meant for making them not vault pallets, drop pallets, vault windows, and things have to do with actions basically. So that's the thing where you can stop them and save the best for last. If you hit them, you know, it's always going to be a basic attack with Doctor. So you get a decreased percentage rate for every successful attack from 5%, so up to 40% if you get all 8 tokens. But if you hit a survivor, you lose 3 of them. So from 40, it would decrease down to 25. So it's basically not the wisest choice to attack the obsession, but if you need to, then yeah, then go for it. Because honestly, it doesn't sway away from you just regularly hitting a survivor, so it's fine. And then next we have Tinkerer. When a generator is repaired to 7% progress, it triggers a loud noise notification, and you are granted the undetectable status effect for 12 seconds. So basically, it's an information perk that lets you know that somebody's working on a generator that's already 70% progress. It'll show you like a highlight of the generator saying that it's about to be finished, and basically you have no terror radius anymore, and you can go straight to that gen and like scare them off of it or whatnot. And then last but not least, we have Discordance. So any generator within a range of 64 meters, I'm pretty sure it's 128, which is double if you have the level 3, is being repaired by 2 or more survivors is marked by a yellow aura. When the generator is first highlighted, Discordance triggers a loud noise notification on the generator. After the generator is no longer within range or is no longer being repaired by 2 or more survivors, the aura remains for another 4 seconds. So basically, it goes yellow, lets you know that people are working on the generator, that are 2 or more are working on the generator, and you can go scare them off, or you can use Static Blast with your ability in order to, you know, scare them off. This perk in particular, I think would be better if instead of running Discordance, you could either run Pop Goes the Weasel, which is, like I said before, it's good on every killer if you watch my past videos. Which, like I said before in my past videos, if you ever watched them, it's good on every killer. So Pop Goes the Weasel is definitely a high recommendation to run on any killer. After hooking a survivor, in the next 45 seconds, you can regress a generator by 25% and continuously keep it regressing if nobody touches the gen. So it's very good, like I said, on any killer, because it stops generators progress. You know, survivors only have to work on generators, that's the objective, and then after that, escape from the escape gate. You can either run so you have Save the Best for Last, Tinkerer, Discordance, or Hex Ruin, or Pop Goes the Weasel. If you run Hex Ruin, it basically continuously regress by 200% if it's level 3, but if it's level 2, it's 150. As long as the hex is up. So basically it's a totem around the map, and if the survivors find the totem and they cleanse it, the perk just deactivates and doesn't work anymore. But if it stays up, that anytime a survivor gets off a generator, it will continuously regress, which is great. Definitely love that. And also, if you want to get fancy with it, you can run it with surveillance if you want. It's a really good combo, because if they touch a generator and they want to get off for like a second to find out if Hex Ruin is on it, surveillance would detect that immediately and make that generator that is regressing white. And if they work back on it, it turns yellow. So really good to start off the game like knowing exactly where a person is on a generator. So yeah, it's great. And then I have another perk build for him. You can also run. Is probably, like I said before, save the best for last, because save the best for last is great on any basic killer. And then probably after that will be Iron Maiden. I think Iron Maiden would work pretty well on Doctor, because when Doctor would use a shock blast, it's like a really big blast that goes around the map. If he has distressing or add-ons for it, but if not, I think it goes up to like 40 meters or something. So it's like a huge blast. Anybody that gets hit by the blast screams, and basically they get more madness. If they start getting more madness, they start seeing illusory doctors around the map, and you could know that they're looking at it because they'll spawn, and it will be highlighted white for this killer. And then if they have Madness 3, becomes really hard to sabotage, work on generators, things like that, and the skill checks will be all over the place. And not only that, if you're tier 3, you would just randomly scream and reveal your location to the killer. So it's best to get out of tier 3 by snapping out of it. But if you're still in Madness tier 2, you still see illusory doctors, and also have skill check issues around the map, where basically instead of it being in the middle where it presses skill check, it'll probably be on the upper left, upper right, like up, bottom left, bottom right, etc., on the right side, left side, whatever. And then not only that, the skill check was shake, stuff like that, and sometimes it would even go backwards. So yeah, if you're not great at hitting skill checks, then you would hate Doctor. I definitely would agree on that. So yeah, another build that you could run, like I said before, save the best for last. After save the best for last, probably Distressing. And after that one is Iron Maiden. And then I guess the last would probably be Sloppy, or just kind of like a gen protecting perk actually. Probably Tinkerer, or Hex Ruin would be good. Maybe even Noed, to be honest. I think Noed works really well on Doctor. If you're running like this kind of like niche build, because like save the best for last is great, but like if they're really good at looping and stuff like that, and you're having a really hard time, it can be good, but it's definitely can't be a crutch perk at times. While Distressing increases your tear radius, so you can use shock blast more. It's pretty decent. Iron Maiden's really usually when you use a shock blast, the only way to avoid it is by getting into a locker, or I've seen some survivors do, which I'm surprised I didn't know that even exists, that they dead hard the shock blast at the right given time. So if they know like the timing of when the shock blast starts, you can just dead hard through it and won't get affected by it, which is pretty insane sometimes, because like it sounds like a useless thing to do, but if you put it into a way where basically Doctor would down the survivor, and usually he would try to pick up, but if he picks up, he'll probably get flashlight saved or something like that from like a Claudette in a bush or something. So basically what he does is that you'll use shock blast, and then they'll scream and expose their location, so you just look the other way, or you chase them off and then pick up the survivor. So I've seen some plays where basically they'll be like pretty decently far away, or like not far away but pretty decently close, but not enough to where the doctor can see them. And then they'll do shock blast. The moment shock blast erupts, then the survivor would just do dead hard. And then since doctor found out like, oh, nobody screams, so it's definitely safe to pick up. He'll pick them up, and then the survivor will be right on the right side and just flashlight save. Like, there's some pretty clutch moments where avoiding dead hard, avoiding shock blast comes real clutch. So like I said, doctor is not the strongest killer, but every killer is capable of, doing well. But it just feels like doctor himself needs more perks to help him out more than others. So that's why personally I would kind of recommend Noed. So if you have like this build, so the build will be Save the Best for Last, Distressing, and Iron Maiden, and the last perk will be Noed, because you won't have any gen protecting perks. You don't have any gen regressing perks. You won't even know people working on generators unless you just use shock blast and things like that. So it becomes very tough. So yeah, I definitely just run Noed over everything. And yeah, that's gonna be my builds for Doctor. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll definitely see you in the next one. Probably gonna be a license killer too. So hope you're excited for that. And I'll see you guys later. Bye guys.